So how's everybody doing? I've been thinking, and I figure it's best to save the rules. Don't do them just yet, seeing as how it's just a few of y'all that are subscribed at the moment. And I figured I'd go ahead and do the recommendation that I saw in the comments of my last video, the Irish Spirit. Now, for those of you who don't know how to pronounce it or you're curious, it's actually a mixture of old and modern Irish. I believe the old Irish translation is Ben She, and the modern Irish is Bane C. So, as you could guess, you put two and two together, and in this case, you don't get four, but you get Bane She, which is the Irish version of the Banshee. Popular creature, dark origins, said to be a nearly demonic entity. It's actually, I found that it's a lot less evil than modern superstition and thoughts make it out to be. It's actually said to be a woman of the Sidhe, which the Sidhe are the earthen mounds that you'll see throughout Ireland. It's said to be home to fairy-like creatures. And the Banshee, its only purpose is to herald death, foretell it. People say that if you hear it, you're gonna die. That's actually a misconception. I want to say it's from a old story where the creature had a wail that could kill you upon hearing it. But the actual Banshee in Irish mythology, its only purpose was if you heard its wailing, mourning, or keening, which is a form of mournful singing practiced a lot in ancient Ireland, mostly by what at that time was hired mourners, essentially. If you heard the Banshee, it meant that someone in your family was going to die that night. And if you're wondering how you would know if it was a Banshee, you would know because there have been accounts of people who heard the Banshee wailing, and it's said to be a sad sound, said to chill you to your bones. You can see, if you see it flying through the air, you can see its hair flying behind it, a rather grotesque figure by most accounts. There's actually, it's funny, but there's a lot of disagreements on what the Banshee looks like and things like that. Because some say it's a tall woman of fey nature and fairy beauty, fairy fey looks. Some say it's a really short older woman in tattered robes that is mourning for the death of someone who's going to die that night. And it's really interesting, but the origin of the Banshee is another contested thing. Because some say it's actually they're meant to serve those of true Irish bloodline. meaning those descended from the Irish families of power. So if someone in your bloodline, and you happen to be of true Irish descent, if someone were to pass away, the banshee would come to wail, keen, or mourn. Basically, it is singing their soul into the afterlife. And it would always appear where you could hear it, as a warning and to let you know that you're about to lose a family member. Now, if you're of the mind to cheat death and tempt fate itself, you're capable. It is said that if you manage to capture the banshee, you can have it tell you who's going to die before you release it, if you're of the mind to prevent said death. But it seems like if you did prevent it, it would be like the Final Destination movie series. It'd be just that much harder next time. And I say it's contested, the origin of the banshee, or banshee, if you will, because there have been accounts in stories and religious texts and things like that, where some banshees are heard by those of true Irish descent, and some are heard by people who aren't even from Ireland, aren't even from anywhere near Ireland. The banshee it's basically the Irish version of, say, the Valkyrie. Because it sings the soul into the afterlife, while also serving as a warning that you will soon lose someone in your family. And it's a lot like King Arthur, for instance. He was said to be mortally wounded, taken by Morgan Le Fay, I believe it was, to Avalon, the island where his legendary sword was crafted. And it's said that some of them who either sailed with him or that were on the island when he got there were a sort of banshee or Valkyrie, where they sang his soul into the afterlife. Now, there may not be factual proof to prove the existence of the banshee, but the way I look at it is, if I ever go to Ireland, besides it being one of my new favorite places because of all of these stories of creatures or places that people give them such dark origins and dark meanings, when all they are ways to explain phenomena, and they're not as dark as most people think. Now, I may not exactly believe in the Fae and the fairies, the homes of the Fae within Ireland. But I'll put it to you like this. If I ever go to Ireland, I'm going to do my best to steer very, very far clear of the she, because there are multiple accounts of those who ventured into the homes of the Fae never to return. And if they did, it was often with barterings and dealings they've made with the Fae that, well, soon they would learn just how peculiar and how literal the Fae were. So if you ever do hear a banshee wailing, take heart, because it's not meant to be a dark omen upon yourself, but it's meant to be a comfort. It's meant to be something to herald the soul of someone of great power, great influence into the afterlife. And if you ever do find she or the homes of the Fae, just keep in mind that it's best to be very cautious and mindful of your dealings with them. Till next time, y'all stay curious, but stay cautious.